Hello, hello. It is finally feeling like summer. It's been in the 80s the last few weeks. People are getting vaccinated. Things are starting to slowly open up, and the future is finally starting to look brighter. Today I will be talking about some of my favorite art supplies. So if you are interested in art, creativity, and all those sorts of things, let's go. So let's talk about sketchbook and paper. Looking at paper, it's good to consider the weight and thickness as well as the texture. So we have Stillman and Byrne, Strathmore. This is another Stillman, and Arches. From these sketchbooks, I'd say my favorite is Strathmore these days. It's for mixed media. The thickness is thick enough for gouache paint where it doesn't bleed through, but it's still flexible, which I like. I prefer binded sketchbooks versus spiral. And for commissions, I usually use Arches. The sketch pads are great because you can use them as is, or you can tear them out as individual sheets. This one is much more textured, and the thickness, it's a little bit thicker and stiffer. This works great for watercolors and gouache paint. Pencils. So if you're using color pencils, quality-wise, Prismacolors. They are a little more pricey, but completely worth the price point. For sketching, a lot of our art classes and schools recommend getting different types of sketch pencils, like 6B, 3B. Yeah, I have so many ebony pencils. But to be honest, as far as drawing pencils, after all these years, I've simplified to my mechanical pencil. And this is usually what I use for most of my drawings. And it's so convenient because I don't need a pencil sharpener. And for me, this works. I feel like at a certain point, it's not really about the tool, but about your drawing skills. And that is pretty much it for pencils. And then we have pens. I use pens a lot after pencil sketching to outline before going into paint. And there are several different brands: Micron, Stadler. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Zig, Faber-Castell. I use Microns the most. They are waterproof. Why do I feel like I'm talking about mascara? And they have different size tips. I don't know if you can tell. Because I like doing finer details, these are the sizes that I use: 01, 03, and 05. And then we have paint. For acrylics, we have Winsor & Newton, Liquitex, and Utrecht. Out of these three brands, I usually use Winsor & Newton the most. If you're just starting off with acrylics, this Liquitex Value Series is great. It costs less, so it's a great starting point. For gouache, we have Marie's, and this is Holbein acrylic gouache. I definitely prefer the Holbein. Marie's is a little bit more like watercolor because it's just gouache. Versus Holbein, it's acrylic gouache is in between acrylic and gouache paint. So it's a little bit more opaque, but you can still mix it with watercolor. And the quality of Holbein's, it's a little more expensive, but I think it's completely worth it. For watercolors, I usually use Winsor & Newton. Another popular brand is Daniel Smith. I haven't used their watercolors yet, but if you want to try it out. So that wraps up my favorite art supplies. If you have any questions or favorites of your own, please feel free to comment. And I just want to say, at the end of the day, it's starting with what you have and what you're familiar with, and developing your skills and experimenting along the way. You don't need the fanciest or best or expensive art supplies to start. It's more about developing observation and technique, and also developing a vision of what you want to express. So I hope you enjoyed this. For more content like this, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.